What is going on with the Atlanta real estate market in 2023? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Is the market gonna crash? In this video, we're gonna look at actual statistics to see how the market is doing, and I'm gonna share with you my personal thoughts as a realtor in Atlanta. That's coming up right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in Atlanta. This YouTube channel is all about helping you get to know the Atlanta area. My name is Mark Brenner, and if you need a realtor to either help you buy or sell a home anywhere in the Atlanta area, I would love to hear from you. You can book a Zoom call with me, you can call me directly, email me, text me, send me a letter, whatever you want to do. All my contact information is in the description below, and I love when my viewers become clients. All right, so what is going on with the Atlanta real estate market? I'll tell you what, if you're thinking of buying or selling and you're trying to get your finger on the pulse of what is going on in the market, it can be pretty scary to use Google. Okay, we now live in a day and age where no matter what is going on, no matter what the indicators are, people are going to say the market is about to collapse. And my personal theory has been that the market collapse of 2008 had a severe psychological impact, specifically on millennials who experienced it, but really it's somewhat all generations who went through it. So I guarantee right now you can get on Google and search for real estate market collapse in America in 2023. You've probably seen videos on YouTube like that, or TikTok or Instagram. And I can promise you, no matter what the market is doing, however far into the future, there are going to be videos like that because it gets clicks. But is it really the truth? Are we really on the brink of a housing market collapse? Are real estate prices in Atlanta ever going to come down? Are interest rates ever going to come down? Well, today we're going to look at actual statistics based on market data to see exactly what the real estate market in Atlanta is doing. And after that, I'm going to share with you some thoughts about what I'm seeing in the trenches day to day, helping people buy and sell homes of all different types all around the city of Atlanta. So before we dive into that, I just want to do a quick recap on what was going on in 2008 that contributed to a housing market collapse and why really there's none of those same indicators going on today. You're probably aware from movies like The Big Short or just reading the news and experiencing that situation that there was massive mortgage fraud going on during that time. And Atlanta was actually ground zero for mortgage fraud. And so you had masses of people who were able to secure loans that probably weren't really qualified to do so. And in many cases, you had a tremendous amount of supply because the market was so hot. You had so much building for so many years. So you had the combination of, in many markets, a huge supply of homes and little to no requirements to getting a loan to purchase those homes. And we all know what happened after that. The economy took a turn, the banks were exposed, people lost their jobs, and they could not afford the mortgages anymore. And we had massive foreclosures across the country. And it's really important to understand just how much the laws have changed around lending since then. You know this if you've refinanced recently. I refinanced a couple years ago when rates were in the twos. Hopefully you did too, but man, that was a process. I am talking about bank statements, income statements, income verification, so much detailed information just to do a refinance of a property that I already own. So I can tell you from firsthand experience, I'm not saying it's perfect, but there certainly have been a lot of laws put in place to make it much harder to acquire a loan. And so currently in 2023, I do not see any of the same indicators outside of an uncertain economy that would lead me to believe we're headed towards another housing market collapse. And the biggest reason I say that is simply supply and demand. Now, I'm speaking specifically about the Atlanta area. This may not be true in your neck of woods, but in Atlanta, over the last 10 to 15 years, we simply have not built enough new homes to keep up with the massive amount of people that are moving here. We are one of the most relocated metros in the entire country. There are a lot of people that not only want to buy homes, but want to rent homes. And there's simply not enough available supply for all those people. This is a huge reason why we've seen a massive seller's market, huge price increases both on the sale side and on the rental side. So in my professional opinion, until our supply can catch up with the massive demand both for purchasing and for rentals, we are going to have a very competitive market and prices are going to continue to increase. There are no legitimate signs of massive mortgage fraud that I've come across. And so although the market is definitely cyclical and will go up and down, I just don't see any evidence, real concrete, non-conspiratorial evidence that we're going to have a housing market collapse in America, but especially in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Now that we've got that covered, let's look at the real statistics rolling over 3 years to see exactly what the market has been doing. All right, so we've got our official statistics pulled up. We are looking ITP, inside the perimeter of 285. But the numbers are not going to be that different if we extrapolate it a little far out. So this is fairly representative of the Atlanta area. It includes Atlanta and some areas of DeKalb. This is ITP. Let's look at sales price, okay? The median sales price in Atlanta in March was $425,000. You can see how much more expensive it was just in January when we had an interest rate spike, right? Winter is a sneaky good time to buy. Okay, $385,000 median. Look at what it was at the pinnacle of the market. Again, this is rolling over 3 years, okay, so we can get a bird's eye view. In the pinnacle, the high point of the seller's market, May 2022, median sales price in Atlanta of $482,700. Let's look just 3 years ago at January 2020. Okay, this is before the pandemic was really in the general awareness. $303,000. Okay, when I tell you I was in real estate telling people to buy and they were sitting on the fence hoping for prices to go down, listen, it's amazing. People who sit on the sidelines are not rewarded, okay? So you can see just how drastically prices have increased over the last 3 years, all right? Let's look at days on market, okay? In March, average days on market was only 14. Okay, that's very quick. We're gonna go into a very hot seller's market this summer, I'm already telling you. In January, when we had that shock of the higher interest rates and it was winter time and everything was slowing down, that went up to 32. You can see it was as low as 5 days. That's a median across the whole market of days on market. That is astounding. That means people were racing to buy homes in the Atlanta area in April of 2022. And you can see January 2020, when it was not as crazy of a seller's market, it was more rational. It was 40 days. I'd say between 30 to 45 days is a little bit more normal. So you can see how drastically things have changed over the last 3 years. Let's look at months supply. Okay, this is how many months it would take to sell all of the homes currently on the market in the Atlanta area. Okay, so right now it would only take 2.5 months to sell every home that's available right now. Okay, that went down a little bit in December and it was as low as 1.2. Again, peak of the seller's market, beginning to mid 2022. January and February, the supply was so low, it would only take 1.2 months to sell all the homes that were currently listed. Now keep in mind, when you go under contract, it's typically about 30 days to close. So that means these homes were going under contract immediately. It would be almost instantaneous to sell all the current available inventory. Compare that with a peak in the last 3 years, April 2020, of 3.8. Okay, this was a way less stressful buyer's market. It was a seller's market. It was way less stressful for buyers. Okay, the more supply you have, the more balanced of a market you have. You can even go into a buyer's market where the buyers have the leverage if there is more supply than there is demand. But you can see just how this is our supply issue. This is what happens when you don't build enough for all the people moving in over the last 10 to 15 years. Supply is going up a little bit, which is good, but I guarantee you this is going to come down over the summertime. And now finally, let's look at closed sales. So there was 999 homes sold in March 2023. Look at this. January of 23, over the last 3 years, the least amount of homes sold. Now, why? Well, because interest rates went up to 7% or above. It was the winter time. There's been a lot of uncertainty in the economy. So you really had an extreme slowdown in January. You can see closer to the peak. Now, 2022 is the peak of the seller's market. This is going to be when we had the best balance between buyers and sellers in the last 3 years, right? Because you can only sell so many homes when there's not enough supply. That's why this is low in January 2022. That's how low the supply was. You can see June 21 was probably the best combination of supply and demand that we had in the last 3 years. So you can see this is on the way up, but these are the statistics, okay? So you see the market that we're heading back into, right? Especially with interest rates coming down. Our sales prices are going up. Our days on market are coming down. Our supply is slightly creeping up as we go into a spring-summer market, but still historically low. And our closed sales are drastically increasing now that there's still some uncertainty, but there's less uncertainty in the economy, and interest rates are leveling off a little bit. We're starting to get a handle on inflation. So you can see the drastic ups and downs of the real estate market in the Atlanta area over the last 3 years. No indications of a slowdown. All indications are of a very hot seller's market throughout 2023. All right, so as you can see from the statistics, not only is there not uncertainty in the real estate market in Atlanta, all statistics are pointing to an imbalance between supply and demand and a continued strong seller's market. Again, we have not built enough supply over the last 10 to 15 years to keep up with all the people who are moving here. Now, why are there so many people moving here? Remember, this might not apply to you if you're in Middle America or somewhere else in the country. We're talking about the Atlanta market. If you look at any chart from any realtor association, you see that the Southeast is one of the fastest growing areas of the entire country. For Atlanta in particular, why I'm so bullish long-term on Atlanta. I've said this in many videos. Mild, sunny climate. 4 distinct seasons, but an extremely mild climate. Really no natural disasters. People will say, oh, we've gotten a hurricane or a tornado. Extremely rarely, okay? If you're coming from a place like California, you don't ever have to deal with earthquakes in the Atlanta area. You really don't have to deal with any natural disasters other than some flooding from time to time. We have an extremely diverse economy. We are not dependent on coal or shipping or banking. Okay, we've got shipping, we've got logistics, we've got medical and finance and TV and film and IT and banking and higher education. Atlanta has an extremely diverse economy, which will insulate it somewhat to major shifts in the overall American economy. Okay, you've heard me say we've got 27 companies in the Fortune 1000 headquartered in Atlanta. 19 of those are headquartered in Atlanta are in the Fortune 500. So this is a fantastic place to start your career or take it to the next level. You also still have a relatively low cost of living. Now, I know locals don't feel that way because their cost of living has only gone up. But relative to where many people are coming from, California, New York, Texas, Washington, Oregon, we have a much lower cost of living. Now, we do have a lower pay, but for many people, it still works out because we have such a lower cost of living than many other places in the country. We also have a lot of room to grow. Simply geographically, there's plenty of space to build land and grow, whether that's, residential homes or commercial properties, offices or business space. There's a lot of room to grow in the middle of Georgia. So because of all of those factors, the housing economy in the Atlanta area is extremely strong, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Now, if we can catch up with the supply, if we can build enough, more new construction, more homes coming on the market, then we should see a more balanced market, prices maybe leveling off a little bit. But as it stands right now, what I'm seeing in the market is this. It's an interesting market because lower quality products, so to speak, and as a salesperson, we have to look at homes as products to some extent. Lower quality products, for instance, cheap flips in developing neighborhoods that are not established, if it's a lower quality product, it's definitely staying on the market longer and having price reductions. However, high quality products, Good homes in great school areas that are safe and close to things to do with good layouts, okay? High quality products in the Atlanta area are flying off the shelves. There are still multiple bidders going above and beyond the asking price, waiving contingencies. And honestly, there's a lot of people missing out. So my prediction for this spring summer market is that it's going to be pretty hot, okay? Even though interest rates are in the mid sixes, I think those are going to come down a little bit. Our last inflation report was quite positive. There's still people that need to buy, and there's still people that can afford to buy at those interest rates. And honestly, as much as I hate how high the interest rates are right now, it is the only thing standing in the way of an absolutely brutal seller's market where, I mean, buyers just are tearing their hair out because they have to put in, offers on 8 different properties before they get one accepted. They have to waive appraisal and financing contingencies. Really, no one wants that. So I would love for interest rates to come down, but I'm hoping they creep down pretty slowly so that we don't open the floodgates too much. There you have it. Honestly, the Atlanta real estate market is still pretty hot. We're still growing. I think it's a good time to buy right now as long as you're buying within your means. Your monthly payment should not stress you out. And in terms of selling, as long as you have a good quality product, so to speak, and you're willing to price it accordingly, it's going to fly off the shelf and you're going to have your pick of buyers that you want to work with. So there you have it, a very strong housing market in the Atlanta area currently. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Remember, next time someone mentions a market crash, simply ask them what are the similar factors of 2008. There's really not any documented massive mortgage fraud on any scale. And there is simply a severe shortage of available supply. So I'm very bullish on Atlanta long term for all the reasons that I mentioned. I think purchasing real estate in this area is one of the best investments that you can make in your lifetime in terms of a return. And I actually think right now, this video is in April of 2023, get in before the spring summer market. Lock something up before you're having to bid against other people. And I think you can get a great deal that's going to increase in value over the next few years. So there you have it, Atlanta real estate market update 2023. I really hope that helped you understand what's going on and plan accordingly. Hope it provided you value. Again, if you needed a real estate expert in the Atlanta area, give me a call. I would love to work with you. Please like and subscribe. And until my next video, I'll see you next time.